Shout out to DVD Era TV. Salute. DVD Era. Sub-Zero was a monster in the DVD era, son.
Now, DMX and the rap group The Lox were both part of the legendary Ruff Ryder family and even worked on songs like Money, Power, Respect, Get At Me, Dog, Used to Be My Dog, DXL, and the list goes on. Now, even though the Lox and DMX seemed like they were very close and had a good relationship over the years, that may have not been the case. Now, just because they were brothers doesn't mean they didn't fight, because family don't always see eye to eye. Being that the Lox and DMX were family at the time and part of the Ruff Ryders, the timeline of their beef that they may have had is unclear, and it seems to be an in-house feud that they didn't want to make public. Now, some people say their beef was over them both feeling they were responsible for putting the other on. Some say X felt like he was responsible for the Lox success, and some say the Lox felt responsible for X being put on. Now, even though DMX was the first artist signed to Ruff Ryders management company, the Lox would still be the first out of the two to get a major deal.
So the Lox signed to Puffy, and we kept them as management.
X wasn't feeling it, because he's like, well, why everybody else is on was the first one here.
Now, another theory the Lox and DMX was having problems with each other would be over who was the actual star of Ruff Ryders. Now, this is not too far-fetched because the era they came from was very competitive. Now, even the Lox would admit when they were signed to Bad Boy that Biggie took shots at them on a song they had together called OC. Now, at the time in the 90s, this was what spitters did. They used to send shots at one another. It just was a competitive sport, and it's just something they did at the time.
That was like, I'm around with y'all. Y'all dope, but let me get at y'all real quick, too.
Now, here's where things will get a little bit crazy. It's even been talks of DMX and Jadakiss having a fist fight. Now, from what I'm understanding, this fist fight all stems from DMX taking shots at the Lox on wax. Now, I'm also seeing online that the fight might have stemmed from Jadakiss disrespecting DMX's wife. Now, whatever the case is, they're actually saying that DMX got the best of Jadakiss, and I'm also understanding that Jadakiss supposedly spoke on this whole fight with DMX publicly in around 2004. So if you're familiar about him talking about this fight, hop in my comment section and give me some details. Now, it's actually a dude that's online that used to be affiliated with J Hood, and he's exposing J Hood right now, and he actually says that J Hood told him that Jadakiss and DMX had a fight, and Jadakiss got washed up by DMX.
You told me Jadakiss and DMX had a fight, bro, and DMX washed Kiss up.
Now, I'm not sure exactly what year X and Kiss got into a fight or what song exactly that X dissed the Lox on that supposedly sparked the whole fight between X and Kiss. But it's speculated the Lox took shots on their 2000 song, What You Expect, on DJ Clue Backstage mixtape. Now, on the third verse of this song, Sheik says, you say, fuck me, I feel the same way about you. Nigga made you rich and now you act like this. Now, I'm guessing that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that they were beefing over who put who on. So this would be the Lox perspective of them putting X on, and now he acting funny. Now, in 2001 on DMX Great Depression album, X had some bars that seemed to be aimed at the Lox on his track Trina Mo. Now, X says, I ain't even gonna speak 1 million my first week. Alright, let's ask the streets. How many sold? What? 3 months to go. Now, I know a lot of people gonna say he was talking to Cypress Hill, but to be honest, it seemed like them lines was directed at the Lox. Now, we'll put the icing on the cake after X track Trina Mo on the Great Depression album. Jadakiss fired shots back on Fat Joe Lifestyle remix with Remy Ma. Now, this Fat Joe Lifestyle remix was put out not too long after, and Jadakiss says, listen to me, I'm the cat that'll sit in the tree and shoot the dog in his head while he pee. Now, hypothetically speaking, if he wasn't talking about DMX, why did he use the dog wordplay? Alright, Styles P called himself the Ghost. Now, picture Jadakiss saying the rhyme saying, listen to me, I shoot the ghost in his head while he pee. You get what I'm saying? It'd be like, that's kind of weird. Out of all the names you could have used or words you could have used, why dog? It definitely was a shot back at X, I feel.
Well, I'm going to say it without the curses. I shoot the dog in the head while he doo-doo when he pee.
Hold up. That was for X?
Who else yells and growls on records?
Now, some people also gonna say, why would DMX be dissing the Lox when that same year he was on Jadakiss' solo album on a song called dissing Beanie Siegel and Jay-Z with Kiss? Now, what I would say to that is the Ruff Ryder camp wanted to keep their little situation they had, you know, under wraps. They ain't want it to be public. It's like if you caught the little slick lines, you caught them, but it wasn't something that was for the public, and I don't think it was that serious. I just feel like rappers at that time was very competitive, and it was a competitive thing between the two, and they might have fall out here and there, but they always was brothers. And if anything did get physical between the two, it was pieced up real quick, And you know, they moved on from it. Like, look at the Lox. The whole 20 plus years they've been in the game. You never even see them beef in public or have an argument with each other. And I'm sure they've been through stuff. Now I'm going to get into an article from hotnewhiphop.com. Now this article dates back to October 22nd, 2015. And this article basically speaks on label mates that had beefs with each other. And they speak on the whole DMX and LOX drama. In Ruff Ryders Entertainment heyday, DMX and Yonkers trio, the Lox were unquestionably the label's marquee artists. With the power of Swiss beats behind them, both became very successful and sold a ton of albums. But Ever the loose cannon felt the need to let people know who the label true star was. On the tail end of an unbelievable hot streak during his release for 4 consecutive #1 albums, Darkman issued a bidding popularity-driven diss record on the Great Depression Trina Mo. Alright, let's ask the streets how many sold. What? 3 months to go. It was a shot at the trio's first joint album, We Are the Streets, which still sold decently, especially by today's standards, but pale comparison to X's own sale numbers. Jadakiss, Styles P, and Sheek Louch fired back on multiple occasions, including a My Lifestyle remix and Who Did You Expect? It's unclear how this all got resolved. It might still exist to some degree. But from then on, it seemed like DMX and the Lox steered clear of each other. Now, I know a lot of people gonna question the release dates of these songs and the timeline, but in the late 90s, early 2000s, music wasn't put out so frequently. You'll record a song 1 month, and then it might not get put out till a year later. Now, being that DMX and the Lox were family, they probably was recording at the same studio, so it's possible for one of them to go to the studio and take shots at the other one, and then the other one come to the studio later that day and hit a record and then respond to it. And just so happen, you responded to a record, but your song get put out first. Like, for example, DMX Trina Mo record came out in 2001 on his Great Depression album. Now, say he was working on this album for 2 years, you get what I'm saying? So he could have recorded this song, and back in 2099, for example, and it didn't get released to 2001 because he was working on the album for 2 years, you get what I'm saying? Now, you know, they got the same producers, same engineers. They could have came in the studio and heard it and then responded to it, but their song came out first before DMX was able to put out the Trina Mo record. So that's why the timeline might be off too. Now, I'm sure there's people out there that's going to feel like LOX and DMX ain't have any problems, but they all come from that battle rap era where you had to battle and rap and be competitive, so I could see this happening. But I do want to say if it was any internal problems with DMX and LOX, I'm sure it was cleared up and it was brief, and it was just something that they were going through at that moment. And I don't feel like it was no long-time beef between the two. It was just something that happened, and you know, it was more love than hate. Now, rest in peace to DMX, definitely one of the greatest to ever do it, and shout out to the Lox. But anyway, if you're a fan of these old hip-hop stories, tell a friend and tell a friend about my page. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. More content coming, and I'm out. 1.